The reclaimed substation hums, a deep breath from aged transformers, vibrating through the floor. Patch cables sprawl like electric vines across the console, catching the faint glow of tube amps. Outside, a scattered rain whispers against the corrugated iron, carrying the scent of wet concrete and something wild growing through cracks in the pavement.
Black Star Pirate Radio.
Across New York, the dial sits at 77 Fahrenheit under patchy rain nearby. Wind check, south-southeast at 10 miles an hour. Tonight, we dissect the signals, separating the engineered echoes from the true resonance. We've got a call coming in. Caller, a walkout is a deliberate structural choice. US diplomats departed a UN meeting after France voiced criticism of President Trump's human rights record, specifically regarding migrant detentions. This gesture impacts the perception of US moral authority on the global stage, trading direct engagement for a public statement of disapproval. One path forward is to double down on these public displays, aiming to leverage international pressure. An alternative could involve quiet, direct diplomatic engagement to address the underlying issues France raised, preserving channels while working for internal policy shifts. The next move is to continue using international forums to highlight specific alleged human rights violations.
The Trump administration had only days prior cited forced labor allegations against other nations. This action positioned the U.S. as taking a stance on human rights, even as its own record faced scrutiny.
France had previously opposed the Trump administration's efforts to prevent the reappointment of a UN human rights chief. This context suggests a deeper, ongoing friction over human rights frameworks at the UN.
The diplomatic chessboard always has more than one player. This particular move is less about immediate resolution and more about shaping the narrative of who gets to critique whom.
A faint buzz from the grounding wire cuts through the air, then fades. Another signal arriving on the frequency. Pakistan is now accused of fatally shooting 30 unarmed protesters in Kashmir.
The Joint Awami Action Committee, a local civil rights group, alleges that security forces killed at least 30 people in Pakistan-administered Kashmir over a 2-day period. This is a direct challenge to the right to assembly.
JAC further claims that authorities actively removed evidence of these killings amid a communications blackout imposed across the disputed region. This suppression of information impacts global understanding and potential avenues for justice.
When state power meets public dissent, the potential for dignity to be erased is profound. The blackout is a tactic to control the narrative, to dictate what is seen and what is not.
Patching in a caller, the contrarian. You're on the signal.
Togee, about these diplomatic walkouts. Is that a genuine statement or just a performance for the cameras, aiming for sound bites rather than change?
Caller, what's your take on this level of civic architecture?
If 30 people are killed, where's the accountability? And if the government controls information flow, how can anyone verify these claims? It seems like a fundamental breakdown.
You're speaking to the structural integrity, caller. Accountability relies on transparent processes. When information is deliberately obscured, it's hard to build consent. The affected are the citizens demanding their rights, facing lethal force. The trade-off is state control over information and dissent versus the fundamental right to protest and seek justice. An alternative path is to push for independent fact-finding missions with unimpeded access to the region. Our next move is to amplify the reports from organizations like JAC, demanding the lifting of communication blockades and an independent inquiry into the alleged killings. Hold that thread. Next signal. Royal Commission into Victorian construction sector could boost. One more signal before we tune out. A Royal Commission into the Victorian construction sector could significantly boost Labour's chances in the state election.
Victoria's new Premier, Ben Carroll, made a promise to launch a royal commission specifically targeting alleged corruption within the state's big build projects. This promises a public airing of financial records.
Political science expert William Bartlett suggests this commission could bolster Labor's standing ahead of the state election. Voters are expected to hear evidence regarding the use of taxpayer funds on these projects before they cast their ballots.
The intersection of public works and political gain is a familiar blueprint. The trick is discerning if the inquiry is truly about integrity or about gaining a tactical advantage.
Line's still open for your thoughts, caller. Patching in a caller. Go ahead.
So, is this commission genuinely about cleaning up corruption and ensuring provenance for public funds, or is it just a well-timed electoral strategy designed to win votes? The timing seems awfully convenient.
That's sharp discernment, caller. The structural impact is on public trust in civic projects, affecting taxpayers and the integrity of governance. The trade-off is genuine accountability versus strategic political positioning. An alternative is to establish a permanent, non-partisan oversight body with investigative powers, removing such inquiries from direct electoral cycles. Our move here is to demand the Commission's scope be broad and its findings lead to enforceable policy changes, not just political capital.
Black Star Pirate Radio.
Continue the signal at TogeeVision.com. Tune in, Sparks and Stories, Gig Passport.